Okay, cranking out the review material big time, getting you guys ready for your final exam. Graph one complete cycle of, you can see the sine wave, so we'll go with our, got pi here, pi over 2, negative pi over 2, negative pi, up to 1, back to 0, down to negative 1, back to 0. There's our parent function. Now, one step at a time, there's our amplitude. So it's going to go up to 3, back to 0, down to negative 3, back to 0. And I could move it all down, I'll do that last, but here's my B. Notice there's no C, so there's no shift left or right. But, period, the new period equals 2 pi all over B, which is pi over 4. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, so it's 2 pi times 4 over pi. Pi's cancel, so I get 8. Now notice I've used pi. Maybe I should have just used radians along here, but I like to use pi. That's my habit. So 8 radians, remember 1 radian is about 60, so that's about 480 total degrees. So I want 240 on the left, 240 on the right. So now comes the big challenge. So 90, 180, 270 is right here, or 3 pi over 2. So that's the third chunk. So there's the third chunk, 270. Well, 240 is 30 degrees shy of that, so it's 2/3 of the way. So I'm going to stretch it out to here and stretch it out to here. So that means the halfway point would be 120, so 90 plus 30 would be right about there. So I'm going to start using some colors because I got to break away from that pencil. So it's going to go up here and just shy of 270, and then down, and then just shy of 270. Not perfect, but it kind of gets the job done. Now we just have to move the whole thing down 2. So I'm going to look for these major points. That guy goes down 2, that guy goes down 2, down 2, so that's going to go up and down. This guy goes down 2, this guy goes down 2 to 5, so place them, connect the dots, and there she is. All right, go on to number 4. So as you can see, this goes through the origin, which to me, it says determine the equation, doesn't say whether to use sine or cosine. But because it goes through the origin, I lean towards sine, and I just know that sine, generically speaking, goes like this. We just did that one up here. So this looks like it's been flipped. So now I know step 1, y equals negative sine of x, because if I flip this, it would be like that and like that. And that's what we have here. So now I know the negatives there. Now the next thing I'm going to kind of look at is the amplitude, and that is 2. So I now know it's negative 2 sine of x. Check the period out, and it looks like it completes a cycle from 2 pi all the way to negative 2 pi, which is a total of 4 pi. So there's my period. I'm going to set it equal to period formula, 2 pi all over b, multiply by b, multiply by b, so I get 4 pi b equals 2 pi, divide by 4 pi, and that all reduces to 1/2. So that's what my b is. B is 1/2. So I'm going to build on that. So y equals negative 2 sine 1/2 theta, or x. And you can tell it has not been shifted up or down because the amplitude here is 2 and 2. So there's no plus anything. There's no shifting left or right, so there's no C, so we can be done. All right, let's dive into the next one. Okay, so I glance at this one, and a couple reasons why I'm leaning towards cosine. I've already used sine, and it looks like the peak. So here's our parent function of cosine. If you remember, it goes over the origin, It looks like it's been moved over. So I'm not doing this in any particular order, but I'm focusing on the letter C right now. It's been moved over 1. These are not in like pi over 2 pi. This is like 1 radian, 2 radians, 3 radians, 4 radians. It's been moved over 1. So I'm going to build on this one step at a time. So cosine, and I know it's going to be x to the right 1 would be minus 1. And I'm going to go after the d next. Might be plus. It's going to be plus because it's up. But I notice that there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go up 3, cut it in half, and then I can see that the x-axis essentially has been moved up 4 units. So the cosine curve's been moved up 4 units. Now I can also kind of dissect this, and we've already said it. Total of 6, half of that's 3, and that would be my amplitude. So I'm going to throw a 3 right there. Last thing I have to discover is my b, which I should have written in there, but I didn't. But now we got to get after it. So if we go peak to peak, that's 1 cycle. That's 2 radians. So period equals 2 pi all over b. Multiply by b, multiply by b, so I get 2b equals 2 pi. Divide by 2, and I get b is pi. So I got to put that in there. Now the way the book has been doing it lately, second try stuff, they kind of changed on us. Be to put the b here, x minus 1, and then plus 4. A lot of little parts to that. All right, good old matrix solving. Let me get my calculator ready. Okay, so step 1, just rearranged everything. So my x's, my y's, my z's, equals, and constants are all lined up. Hopefully I didn't screw that up. And now we're going to just get things into matrices. So use Kramer's rule. So x is going to equal dx over d. And y is going to equal dy over d, and then we're just going to use our information. Once we find x, find y, we're just going to stick it in one of these and then just find z without using determinants. So that'll be the plan. So the first thing I'm going to do is find d. And what I do is I take these coefficients off, so I'm going to save some recording. So I went to my matrix button, so I went second matrix right here. And I got that, so I'm going to go to edit, because I'm going to make my own. And I want a 3 by 3. And now I'm going to enter information, so I won't bore you with that. Okay, so I've entered my information, hopefully correctly. I'm going to hit second quit. Now it's uploaded into matrix 1. Now what I want to do with that is I want to find the determinant. So I'm going to select math. Determinant, and now I go back to my list of matrices. I want that one, hit enter, -3. So I know this equals -3. So I can put that in here, and I can put that in here. Okay, so now to find dx, I have to replace my x column with my constants. So it's 13, 12, -8. And then everything else stays the same. I'll be right back. Alright, so classic math moment. Just went through all this, plugged it in, got -11. That doesn't feel good because most of these come out nice and neat. I'm going to double check my work real quick. I'll be right back with you. Alright, I double checked. I can't find any errors, so I'm going to go with it. -11 over -3 is 11/3. Plugging things in might not be the best option if this is correct. Alright, so now we got to find y. Well, this time to find y, we got to find dy. So we're going to replace our y column with our constants this time. So I'll be right back. Okay, so there's dy, and I'm going to plug it in the old calculator and see what pops out. Okay, so after plugging it in, I got a 0. Makes me a little uncomfortable, but here we go. So 0 over 3, -3 is just 0. And so now plugging things in by hand, maybe not so bad, assuming we did everything correct. So please reach out to me if you sniffed out a mistake, but I'm going to use this. So negative 2 times x, I guess I'll just use this one, minus 0 plus z equals negative 8. So that'd be negative 22 thirds plus z equals, watch this fancy move, negative 24 thirds. So I have to add 22 thirds, 22 thirds. That would give me a negative 2 thirds for z. So there it is. So my final answer would look like this. X is not negative, positive, 11 thirds, 0, negative 2 thirds. Assuming we've done everything correct. All right, these are easy points here. So b times c. So we got to multiply this through this, and that's going to be in the upper left-hand corner. So negative 3 plus 0 plus negative 14 is negative 17. But then we got to throw that row through this column. So we get 21, I better write this down, minus 8 plus 84. So that's 105 minus 8. So that's 3 more to be 97. That'd go in the upper right, and we just got to do it again. So this times this, should be able to do this mentally. 6 plus 0 plus negative 22 is negative 16. That goes there. This one, got to be careful. Negative 42 plus 32 plus 121 plus another 11, 133. So that's 165 minus 42, which is 123. 123. I had to work for that one. Double check, make sure I didn't screw up. Okay, so now AC, we got to multiply A times C, but notice there's 2 elements in that row, 3 elements in that column. Nope, can't do it because of that. Impossible. B plus C. Well, in order to add, notice this has 2 rows, 3 columns. In order to add, they have to match. You can see that C doesn't have the same design, the same dimensions. So this is a nope, doesn't have the same dimensions. Okay, so B times A. Well, if we flipped it around and really took a good look at it, there's B. I squished them in there, I apologize for that. And then we went like this, 2, 0, negative 5, 1. Notice we got 3 things. That's 3, negative 1, 7. And then we'd multiply by that. Again, can't do that. Not enough items in this column to match this row. So, BC, we've already got that answer up there, so let's go ahead and cheat. Negative 17, negative 16, 97, 123, plus A. Now notice A has also got the same dimensions. It's a 2 by 2. So this is a green light. So negative 17 plus 2 is negative 15, 97 and 0 is 97. That'd be negative 21, and that'd be 124. Okay, the old infamous inverse function. Remember the formula. It's 1 over the determinant of A. And then if A is A, B, C, D, then the formula is we switch D and A, take the opposite of B, opposite of C, and then we distribute this through all 4 things, and that's kind of the plan here. So what's the determinant of A? Well, that's 2 minus 0, which is 2, so it's 1/2. Now we just follow this formula for that matrix. So we switch the 1 and the 2. The opposite of 0 is 0, the opposite of negative 5 is 5, and we just distribute this to all 4 places, and you get 1/2 or 0.5, 0, 5 halves or 2.5, and then 1. Don't care if you write decimals, but there's my answer. We're finally to chapter 11 topics. So I'm going to stop this and call it part 2. Like and subscribe. Come on, guys. Need some views, subscribers. I'm only up to 130.